We will go ahead and call the June 8th Aberdeen School Board meeting to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Brad Olson.
Present.
Mr. Brian Sharp.
Present.
Mr. Aaron Schultz.
Here.
Mr. Darren Beckus.
Present.
Dr. Gail Bortnam. Here. Mr. Kevin Burkhardt. Mr. Mark Murphy.
Here.
All right, we have a number of good news items and some frequent flyers here, so we'll start with the good news.
Okay, sounds great. The first item on the agenda is we have a girls' state track and field champion. Taryn Hermanson is here, as well as Coach Apple. Let us know how things went.
Head up here. You want to stand up?
Yeah.
Well, for Ms. Hermanson, it's same old, same old. Again, just an absolute fabulous year. And if you would have had the opportunity to watch her at the state track meet, it'd be like every meet. She goes out there and she's 6-8 feet farther than everyone. And earlier this year when we were in Watertown, how many times did you break your record that day? She threw 48.11. And ended up second all-time in the state history. And yeah, just absolutely just destroyed the school record that she set herself. And last year, and she broke it many times throughout the year and broke the state meet record this year again. So again, just an absolute fabulous year for her. And yeah, that's I can't think of how many times she broke the record this year. It's fun to sit there and have an opportunity to watch her. And the other part I'd like to point out too is she also, on the last day of the state track meet with the discus, or the day before the last day, Friday, she threw her PR too for her discus and got third place as well. So just had an absolute fabulous state track meet.
MVP. Yeah, the MVP.
Oh, MVP, ended up being the MVP for the field events. So just had an absolute fabulous state meet. So Taryn, I'll let you answer any questions you'd like or say anything you would like.
What's the secret, Taryn?
The secret? Hard work when no one's watching, probably.
How many times did you break your own record?
Probably like six times. Close to that, probably.
I had the pleasure of coaching my own daughter in those events. You likewise had your father and your mother coaching you. How did that go for the years that you've had both of them?
Yeah, they definitely coached me a lot more before this year, but now we have Nick Olson, so he kind of did a little bit more this year with the coaching with me, but I mean, it's a joy. They know me better than anyone else, so they know when to push me, know when to kind of let up, and they can talk to you in different ways that make you understand a lot better, so definitely it helps.
I've got one other question. You're going to the university. What are you going to do at the U? As far as academically, going to pursue
I
what?
think I'm going to get a physical education degree, but I'm not.
Gonna be a teacher?
100% on, yeah.
Will you consider our district on your list when you get
I'll consider it.
Well, it's been a pleasure to watch you perform not only at the track level, but in a variety of sports here as well, but also academically. You're the class president, correct? Or was the class president. Notice on the scholarship day, your name was mentioned many times. And so to get it done academically and to be the leader of your class and the leader in the state, it's remarkable. You've left your mark here. So thank you very much for that.
Just one comment. I'm old enough to remember one other athlete from Aberdeen who reminds me of your story, breaking record after record after record. I remember watching George Amundsen, if you know that name, and same thing. He'd throw the discus and it was always a new record, new record. So you guys are just amazing for what you accomplish. So, congratulations.
Congratulations. We also have a repeat boys state track and field champion, Kyson and Coach Hurley.
And we didn't dress alike.
I like it.
I called his wife and asked what he was looking for. So I'm here to introduce Kyson. Currently 3 of the all-time state records in the boys' side of the 20 are held by Aberdeen Central people. George, you mentioned George Amundsen, Sam Rolfs, and now Kyson Fant is the fastest person ever to jump over 10 hurdles in 300 meters. So, really strange that Jim is introducing Taryn as a throw person because the throw coaches absolutely hate when Jim is anywhere near the thrower. Jim coaches Kyson, and he absolutely hates when I butt into the hurdles. So, hard work, dedication. If you ever go out and watch Coach Apple work with the hurlers, they get after it. They really work hard. There's not a secret. And I think I mentioned this last year. I know we're having Olivia Braun come in a little bit. And when she was in 8th grade, she was in my homeroom, and someone asked her how you become so good at golf, and she just said, "No secret to it. You just work really hard." And I think that's Tyson came out and ran cross country last fall, just so he could be ready for track, which is to run 5 or 6, 8 miles a day and have some goony guy yelling at you all the time about going faster. That's obviously a lot of dedication to his sport and to his team and to his school. He's going on to represent Aberdeen Central at Northern in the future, and he'll be a great addition to their team. So I was looking when I came in on my phone, I was looking up All-Americans. I'm guessing South Dakota gets 4 on the boys' side, 4 on the girls' side. We'll see how that pans out. I would think both of them would be good candidates for that. They just haven't released it yet, so Kyson?
Have you always enjoyed running?
Yeah, it's probably been my favorite hobby since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
When did you zero in on the hurdles? When did you finally figure that was going to be your event?
Probably my sophomore year. Freshman, I didn't really like it, but I stuck with it, and turns out I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
How long has that event been a state event, the 300 meters?
It's been,
Long time?
it's probably one of the originals,
Was it?
I'm guessing. I don't think they've added that.
So you're back-to-back state champion, and you've obviously had a ton of success that way. And but hurdles is one of those things where it's very obvious when there's a failure, right? You plow into that. And tell me just how does that work when you hit and crash and you have to get back up? Or how many times have you failed to be successful?
Honestly, throughout my whole career, I fell only once, and getting back up is probably the big part of the race. And no matter what, you should not quit. You should always just finish through the line.
I like watching you run because you don't clear it by much.
Yeah.
It's just a smooth, it's fun to watch. And fortunately, I was able to watch it on, working at the time, but I was watching it as well. It's fun. And I know we had other people watching. Old athlete that won the state back in 1987 was texting me and asking, tell me more about this kid that's running the 300 hurdles. And I know he wants to reach out to you and congratulate you as well. So he's left his mark on the state track championships and things like that as well. So,
What were you working on this year to improve? In other words, what was your goal coming in? What was something you figured you had to do better this year?
Just to focus on that I can do it, and just to focus on what I need to do and what I need to put out there, and just to forget the other races and just focus on myself.
He broke the state record at 18-mile-an-hour headwind.
Oh, gee,
So, yeah.
that's a tough.
The second he ran it, I looked it up, the official one, so it was 18 miles an hour. So it's not like he just had a smooth sailing day. He just, but
Wow.
At Northern, what are you going to pursue?
I tend to major in exercise science. I'm a physical therapist.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I date myself, but we had a cinder track that way. Fell on that, you never fell again.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Coach Zimmerman, welcome back. Yes.
There's a lot of people to thank, and I hate doing this because every time I do it, I forget somebody. But first of all, thank you as a school board in the Aberdeen School District, because I've been doing this a long time, and I see a lot of teams out there, and I see what they have, and I know what we have, and I know what we can get. And without your support, success doesn't come easy. It takes a lot of people besides just the girls and myself, but we thank you for that. Community support, parent support, so on and so forth. So I don't overlook that. Without resources, you can't be successful. So thank you again for everything. I'm really proud of these girls for their accomplishments this year. I know last year when I was in front of you guys, I think from that moment on, they kind of had a bullseye on their back, and there was a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure on these girls to go out and achieve what they did again this year. And at the beginning of the year, we had a lot of goals, individual and team goals, and I think they fulfilled every one of those and then some. So credit to the girls and what they accomplished, and just a lot of good things happened to this golf team, and it didn't happen overnight. From the time they were 6th and 7th and 8th graders, I always thought, a lot of good things could happen with this group based on their ability and their talent, but they went out and they spent a lot of time, effort, patience in doing and accomplishing what they did. So again, things don't happen overnight. So, and I think the records speak for themselves. 2-time state champions, 2-time ESD champions. I know I've been doing this 29 years now, and I'm biased, but you're looking at probably the best AA girls golf team there ever has been, because they set a state tournament record both day 1 and day 2 this year, which is a great accomplishment. And I could go on, but people, when I see them in the street and when I see them on the golf course, they're always wanting to talk about the girls golf team, and I appreciate that. And it's just not about their records and things like that. It's just about what good people they are, and that means a lot to me too, because that's what we try to instill in golf. Being a good person, good golf etiquette, do what's right, those types of things mean a lot. So I appreciate all that from the public and from the community and from the golf people. Before I introduce them, I just want to say it's kind of bittersweet losing 3 seniors this year, but if you're in coaching long enough, that happens. And there's no better way to go out than on top the way they did. So I think they can feel pretty good about themselves. I look back and we spent a lot of time together on the golf course, at tournaments, in the van, at Dairy Queen, go on and on. But we spent a lot of time together, and I'm going to miss them a lot. They're just like daughters to me, the seniors. So I think they know that already, but I just wanted to make that public clear that that's the way I feel about this golf team. So without further ado, I'll introduce them, and if you have any questions for me or them, I guess I'll turn it over to whoever. We had 2 8th graders this year. Carly Withers, she was all conference, by the way. Genevieve Goals, all conference and all state. Junior Kylie Wirebaugh. And then my 3 seniors, Emma Dorr, Chloe Vikander, and our 2-time state champion, Olivia Braun. By the way, they were all ASD and all state as well. So with that said, I guess I'll open it up if you guys have anything.
What are your plans, seniors?
I'll start. I plan on heading to SDSU. I'm going to play golf for their team, and I plan on majoring in engineering.
I'm going to go to Lake Superior State and play ACHA hockey, and then I'm going to get my major in kinesiology.
I'm going to Lake Area Tech, and I'm going to be in their cosmetology program starting in January.
You're all gonna golf?
One thing I did forget to mention that's very important, the 3 seniors were academic All-State as well. And that's something that doesn't get in the paper, it doesn't get on the radio, things like that. So I'm very proud of their accomplishments in the classroom as well. And because during the golf season, they miss a lot, they know that. And to stay up with their studies academically means a lot. So kudos to them for doing as well as they do in the classroom as well.
Did Chloe, did you have a hole-in-one, did I see?
Yeah, I
Do you
did.
know what the odds of having a hole-in-one are?
I don't.
12,500 to 1.
Wow.
Did you know it went in right away, or do you?
No, we actually didn't. The pin was tucked behind a bunker, and so we heard it hit the pin, but then we weren't sure if it like actually went in or if it kicked off the green or if it was just sitting by the hole. So.
And everybody started cheering. I could hear them all the way.
Did somebody film that, so you have that?
No, nobody got it.
I think with technology,
Oh, gee.
This was the first time a team in conference got every teammate, all conference honors too, correct? If I remember correctly.
Yep. Again, accomplishments, just about the time I think I've seen everything with this group, they go above and beyond and do something that like, oh, wow. To just top that thing that, just stands out, so, yeah.
Olivia, you battled a girl. Had you battled this girl for the title before?
No, she actually transferred. She used to go to West Central, and then she transferred over to O'Gorman. But yeah, she was a great little player. It was fun, battling and.
Came down to the last 2 holes?
It did. It really did. It was like a battle all day because she shot. I think I was 2 down to her after the first day. So it was a fun day. The second day playing head to head against her.
Tell me what it was like pulling up in the van and knowing that everyone's watching you as you get out and basically you're the team to beat and stepping up every time.
Everybody's looking at me. Okay. Okay, yeah. I think all year, we built that confidence by winning a lot of meets as a team. And I think going into it, we've all been in the situation before, so I think we kind of knew what we had to do. And I think all of us really accomplished everything we wanted to do. And I don't know, I'm just really proud of our team because we all showed up and we all played our best.
I think when we would get out of the van, we were focused on what we were going to do, focused on our game plan for every course that we had. We didn't really think of it as a bullseye on the back of our back. We were just kind of yeah, we're just going to go and play golf today. We're just going to go and have fun and see what happens. And the outcome most times was good, but if it wasn't at the end of the day, we were like, okay, next thing.
That's cool.
And I hope that you all, I hope that you all still enjoy playing golf.
Oh yeah.
Hanging out of that.
We always talk about the memories that they make, throughout their high school career, meeting kids from other schools, and even the parents get to meet other parents, and that's something that you just can't take away or you'll never forget. So we take a lot of pride in that and those memories that you achieved during your high school career. So I know that's one thing the parents have always said to me, that they got to meet some people and they kind of stay in connection with them throughout even after the high school careers are over. So.
Are you allowed to coach during, they changed that a few years ago, didn't they? And you're allowed to actually coach up to the green?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Once all 4 balls or 3 balls, depending on how many girls are in the group, once all those are on the green, I have to stop coaching. But up until then, I can coach from basically tee to green. So that did change, yes, probably for the better a couple of years ago.
Do you advise them on the shot they should make, or keep their spirits up by whatever they choose to do and encourage them to make good decisions?
Yeah, a little bit of both, I think, really. You try to build their confidence up and just, kind of stay an even keel in golf. You can't get too high or you can't get too low. I think Chloe's a good evidence of that, of what happened to her down there. So, but, and then just, because even walking with Olivia the other day, it's like maybe what I would do, she probably wouldn't do, or club selection, things like that. So you have to take into account, maybe another girl playing in the group would do something that she would have done too. So I have to kind of know their ability and what they're comfortable with, along with just, talking through and just kind of keeping their spirits up. Yeah, you just can't get down too much in golf, otherwise it's going to wreck you. In golf, we're only worried about the next shot and the next hole. We can't dwell on what just happened or what the last hole was. We have to move forward, and that's really difficult. That's really difficult to kind of overcome that, because in golf, the more frustrated you are, the worse it gets. You just get tensed up, and you swing harder, and you're out of time, you're out of rhythm, and just, it's really difficult. So to kind of keep an even keel in golf, it's very important. And for the most part, they did that all year long.
I really appreciated the comments that Coach Zimmerman made at the beginning, because I was going to make the exact same ones. People are very free to let me know what they think about things, usually in a very negative way. But I will tell you very reassuredly that this group of kids right here, I have heard many, many positive comments about. People I don't even know I didn't know that we had a golf team, that have made very positive comments, not just about the team, but about the people that you are. And that means more to me than, honestly, the state championship. So I thank you for that. I'm not sure how well you know Coach Seiler, but it's a little difficult to get a compliment out of her. And she has told me numerous times this is the best golf team the state of South Dakota has ever seen. And if she says it, it's true. So congratulations, and very well done.
Thank you.
Great job.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach.
Thank you.
Ladies.
See you next year.
What's she gonna do in phone tech?
Cosmetology.
Okay, so I didn't hear the program.
All right, well, we have the agenda for this evening. I'd ask for a motion for approval. Beckus and Sharp. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Persons wishing to address the board?
I have none.
Board remarks. We do have the minutes of May 11th and May 26th in our packet. I'd ask for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion by
second.
Murphy, second by Dr. Bortnam. Any further discussion related to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. We do have a consent agenda in front of us this evening. I would ask for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Beckus,
I'll second.
second by Bortnam. Any further discussion related to the consent agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Reports of the superintendent, Dr. Guffin.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda tonight is our Operations Department Summer Projects Update. Mr. Schnell has that ready for us this evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Hello.
Okay. Well, I've been before you guys several times on this whole summer projects process. So you may see some similarities, but a lot of it is just things that we just kind of plow ahead with, and our team just takes them in stride. They do a wonderful job. This opening slide here, I wanted to give a big shout out to our operations, the grounds crew. With the constant rain that we've been getting here lately, not only are they mowing 200 acres a week, they're probably doing it twice a week. So that's a pretty big job. We have a few summer extras that come in and jump in, but they're doing an amazing job. On the right-hand side, that is the hard surface floor team. It's a group of 4 staff members, and they will go through and they will prep all of the tile surfaces so they can be scrubbed and waxed. This particular one is the gym at Simmons Middle School. They're taking it completely down to the bare tile, which is a job in itself. I asked them, I said, how'd that go? It was tough. They're taking off multiple years of wax. They're doing all the details. I think the 4 of them worked on that gym floor for an entire week. So, 160 hours of work just for that. And then the big bonus is when they throw wax on it, and it sparkles like a mirror. So, down on the bottom, we've always got a lot of cabinetry that we do. That is the special ed department, the new cabinetry that they'll be getting this summer. As I've been clearing out my computer files, getting ready for Jared to take things over, I looked back, I think my first computer file started in 1998. Josh, were you alive then? Oh. I was just wondering. Just checking. But it went back to 1998, and I started using this formula in about 2003. It's something that keeps all of the projects on one page. I don't know, it works for me. The extra thing now is we've got the Google Drive. And so I can share this with everybody. This is being shared with Jared, Jared, and then Mark, all of our operations team over there. So, if the projects are assigned to them, they can put their notes in there. My 2003 spreadsheet had 82 jobs on it. Tasks. This one has 154. So, some of them are repeats, obviously, but then tonight's little program will be of our major projects that we're having. Okay. Next one of the ones that always comes up is a surplus sale. It always kind of befuddles me that how come we keep selling this stuff but we keep finding more? Well, the next slide kind of tells that, because the next slide is of the furniture that we buy. The surplus sale, we are now up to 2 a year. We have one in the winter, which is a lot of the technology items. And then we have one in the summer, which is some technology, but most it is furniture. If you can see in these pictures, there's a lot of cabinetry that we've pulled out. Instead of just simply getting rid of those, taking them to the landfill, we'll offer them for sale. The bidding system will start up about mid-June, should be soon, because they just finished taking pictures. And then that whole K-bid auction will finish up right before the 4th of July. So, look on your computers, bid often.
Are you pleased with the vendor, how they've done things?
Yes. We started this, must be 5 years ago or so. It's been S&S Auction. He has a big online presence. He uses the K-bid system. And they're very professional. They know how it works. They know what to package. It's kind of like the old-fashioned auctions. You'd go and, there's a can of nails. Well, nobody wants to buy that. So they put it with a pizza oven or something, So you get one, you get them both. And that worked. Before when we were doing our surplus sales, we would always lose money. Just for the simple fact of all the labor needed to move it around. And then when no one bought it, the expense to throw it away. We'd have to break it down, recycle it, et cetera, et cetera. But with this, we have, over the 5-year period, we've sold everything but I think 2 tables. So that's a pretty good track record. I think in the first sale made more money than we had in 10, 15 years before that. So very pleased, very pleased. Like I said, out with the old, in with the new. These are a couple of the invoices for furniture. Those are requests that when Josh and I go around and do our capital outlay, the principals are asking for, which their teachers have asked for. So it's, desks that have worn out, chairs that are cracked, those kind of things. I think, this one I'm pretty proud of. I think the budget was $150,000. I was able to spend $143. So I'm under that. Just remember that as we move through this slide. Yeah. The next one, Dr. Guffin was able to find a grant from the state of South Dakota, and she said, why don't you look into this? And so I made the contact, and although it is not a requirement to the state right now, it's simply on a voluntary basis. Down the road, it will be a requirement that all drinking fountains, sinks over here that could be used for consumable water or for cooking need to be tested. This is kind of the cheat sheet for May Overby, I believe. But you see all the different years that the additions were put on there. There is a process that they use that they can detect what levels of lead and where it came from. They'll test it right away, and if there's a level of lead, that's probably at that faucet. Then they'll run it for 30 seconds. If there's a level of lead, it's further on down or upstream of the water source. I'm very, very happy to report. I think the federal action, I think they call it the action level, is 15 parts per billion. And to kind of put that into perspective, typical backyard swimming pool is about 10,000 gallons. I don't know who did, but somebody counted there's 1 billion drops of water in there. So 15 drops in a swimming pool is that, safety level. The worst site that we had was half of that, with that being about 7 parts per billion. But most of them were in that one. What I always liked was there was multiples less than 1 part per billion. Okay, that tells me that's 0. But most of them were in that 2 to 3 parts per billion range. Very, very good. What I have done is instructed our maintenance crew, the areas that were tested, and they showed moderate concern, as kind of a light yellow on the spreadsheet that they give us. We're just going to replace those. All of the sites have been tested except Central. Central is very hard to get into because one of the setup items for this is there couldn't be any water use in the building for 8 continuous hours. Central isn't never uninhabited for 8 continuous hours. So, we'll attack that again. I think it's going to happen next Monday. Aaron will come in at about 4 o'clock in the morning, but that's about all we can do. Another one that we've talked about before is flooring. New carpet, new resilient floor. This year, in some of the kitchens, we're starting to do the epoxy concrete. Spoke with Melanie Hogue. She loved the idea to get rid of the VCT tile. It's much more sanitary. On average, that's going to be about 3 areas per school as we march through the district. I was in a place yesterday, I looked down and it's like, oh goodness, the old broadloom carpet. It was in great shape, but it wasn't this carpet squares. This is our new process. So we haven't made it through the district completely, but we're getting there, I think. The next slide, ones that we do every year is asphalt and concrete maintenance or improvements. The first one that you see there to the left, that's Simmons Elementary's playground. Come July 1st, they will come in, they will fix any potholes, they will route out any cracks and fill those, and then they'll do a sand seal on that. Just similar to what you see the city does. The other one on the the right-hand side, that's Central High School. And what we're going to do this year is the west side, the student parking, same thing. We'll fix potholes, sweep obviously, and then they'll do the crack repair, and then they do a chip seal, which is beefier overlay. But then after that, they'll come in and they'll paint again. You know, concrete, this one was real easy. The one on the left is Mike Miller Elementary. And the top of the picture is Milwaukee Avenue. And towards the bottom of the picture is the main entrance. And I told Helms, I said, we want to put a sidewalk there. They said, well, where do we put it? They said, follow the path that the kids made. So that's what it is. You know, it's going to be 6 feet wide. Now watch, we'll put it in and put someplace else. But, you know, we made every effort, right? The other one over there on the right-hand side, that's the dock at Lincoln that serves the food service area. Right now, they've got a dock which has taken multiple hits over multiple years. And so we're going to change that to a ramp that will work better for our food service delivery trucks, our staff, and also then it'll still service the truck drivers that deliver there. Next one, the left-hand side is that is the front entrance of Brownell Activities Complex, and that is in preparation for down a couple of slides down, getting ready for the new ticket booths that'll go in there. The one with the pretty purple path over there, because the asphalt and concrete came in under budget, we're able to go a little further, and that pathway, which gets an awful lot of traffic over there, will be done this year as well. And then the following years, then the parking lot can come up. These parking lots are such a huge size that you almost have to do them in sections. Well, you do have to do them in sections. Next one, Central High School. The picture on the left there is we're getting new boilers at Central. These are taking out the old boilers. You know, it was last winter, we had one boiler go down, because at New Central, there are no longer new boilers. But we had one boiler go down and kind of panicked a little bit. But what we did is we robbed parts from one, because they're identical. We robbed Peter to pay Paul, and we made one work. And then we had another piece that was fixed, so in case the other one, what would be the odds of the other one breaking down, or them both breaking down? And just so you know, that those odds are 100%. So you know, we had the backup. I think we were down for about an hour, but we were able to drag it along until this spring when they shut down the boilers. Now Redlinger Brothers is removing, and they're putting in 2 new boilers. Should work for another 20-25 years. The big ugly green box to the left, or the right there, sorry, the right, left, I'll learn that eventually. The big ugly green box, that is the emergency backup generator. In this building, if the power goes off, those battery pack units will come on, you'll have light. At Central, they built it so when the power went off, the generator would kick in, and then there are specific lights that would light up. Kind of a nice system. The last time we tested it, it didn't work. And so I thought, yeah, okay, we're going to have to replace that, but what are the odds of anything happening before we replace it? Again, that's 100%. But we were able to, our team came in, they said, yep, what we'll do is we'll override it. It was actually a transfer switch that wouldn't work correctly, so they were able to manually override it. We had lights. So, you know, that is going to be coming in this fall. The generator we were able to purchase through a company that we work with, Sourcewell. It's a state and federal government kind of a purchasing conglomerate. And so, all the bid packages and those things have been taken care of, so that was relatively easy. Another thing that's on the docket for this summer is out at ATEC in the machine tool area. Some of the items, and they weren't in the surplus pictures because they were just too big. They're going to be getting rid of some mills out there. They've got a couple of CNC machines that they've gotten, is it Perkins grants, to get replaced. And so this is actually a study of, okay, where will it fit? Because before we figure out where it fits, okay, we need electricity to them, air, all those services. But that one is moving along pretty well. This next one, on the left-hand side, I'd mentioned out of Brownell Activities Complex, the new ticket area. This is a really fancy, basically two 12-by-12 garden sheds. We talked with Suzanne Bain because she runs that whole area out there with her ticket takers to see what works. We use Northern as an example, I think. This is about, what was it, draft number, was it 5? Yeah, that was a good discussion, but we wanted to make sure that it was well thought out. You may have seen on Facebook, a couple of board meetings ago, we surplused the old ticket booths, and I found out that it was going to cost more to move them, to get them ready for sale, than we would get for them. And so we wisely donated them to the Brown County Fair and said, you have to pay to move them. So, anybody on the fair board? Okay. If you are, I apologize. No, I think they did to get a good deal. They were happy, very happy to get rid of what they had. Upper right-hand corner, that is the bleachers at Brownell Activity Complex. That is the east side, the visitor side. Those are going very well. I think all they have to do is the ramps yet. Very few bumps along that road. Nothing that we couldn't work through. The next slide is probably one of the bigger ones that we've been working on, and this is the Simmons Middle School addition renovation. They have started over there. They've moved our fiber optic, they've moved our power supply, they've dug the footings, and then Mother Nature filled them up. I think Dommies has spent more time pumping them out than prepping them. But they've done some demolition on the inside. That should go very well. The plan there is the art room, which is going to be displaced because that will expand into the special ed room, is into I call it the shredder room. It's a storage room of about equal size. They'll live in there for a bit, probably until about Christmas vacation. When the art room addition is done, they'll move back into that. But the special ed classrooms, those will be done before the start of school this fall. So, like I say, things are moving along pretty well. Upper right-hand corner, you saw that one before. Those are the cabinet layouts for the existing special ed rooms over there. Because the art room is being renovated, they're getting new cabinetry, we wanted to make sure that the other matched, and then we were able to kind of optimize that situation as well. Lower right-hand corner, that is a view of the music hallway doorways. Anybody that's familiar with Simmons Middle School, it will replace the really heavy gray metal grate that used to pull across the hallway there. The construction people pulled that out today. They put it outside because they were pretty sure that if the wind came up tomorrow, it's not going to blow away. It's not going to blow away. But once before start of school, that'll have new double doors, And not only will it be much easier to do than the gate, it will also be tied in with the intruder and the fire alarm system, so that when the button is pushed, that will close and it'll lock down that area. With the gate, it was almost impossible. You know, that gate would take you 5 minutes to close it up. So that's quite an improvement there. You know, here's another couple of pictures of the Simmons Middle School addition. It's kind of funny, but you get, nothing happens. And that would be the upper picture. Okay, they come and they knocked a couple of corners in the walls to see whether the plans matched what was built. And then it's like nothing happens. Next day they're in there like gangbusters and they're digging holes and dirt's flying every place. So, you know, these two pictures are probably taken within 4 hours of each other. You know, that one is going along pretty well. Huff Construction is on that project, and they've done multiple projects for us before. Very good luck with them. Holgate Middle School renovation. The blue hatched area in the upper left-hand corner, the smaller picture, that kind of relates you to where it is at Holgate. The larger picture is kind of a blown-up area, and this is the final results of several meetings with principals, outgoing and incoming, special ed directors, superintendents, you know, everybody involved in trying to get that space, which was the old IT area, as efficiently laid out as possible. This will solve several problems. Again, at Holgate, the office is about dead center in the middle of the building. It's hard to find, especially if I'm a new parent. So this will put the office right at the front door. Currently, today at Holgate, a parent comes up, they look into a camera, they buzz them in from 100 feet away, 150 feet away. This will be very similar to all of our other schools. They're buzzed into a secure area, and then they come into the office. So, you know, our SRO's office is there, which now it's kind of over in this area. The in-school suspension areas, they're next to the SROs. Things that make sense. So I think this is a big, huge change. That is on the left-hand portion of that hexagon. The right-hand portion is the STEM room, which is robotics, 3D printing, and drone. I think those are kind of the big three players there. But then also counselors, nurse, you know, like I say, it just fixes a whole bunch of things that we made it work up there. But this will fix a whole bunch of issues up there at Holgate. This again, the blue hatched area this is in relation to where it is at Holgate. That would be the old office, obviously. If you move your old office into the new space, then what do you do with the new space? That's the expansion of the special ed, which is really handy because it adjoins currently existing special ed room there. So, you know, they put a lot of work into this, and I think it's pretty well thought through. You know, a tendency is to try fit everything in there. Well, there's not that much space, but they've done as good as they can. Next one is replacement of the Michael J. Healy football field, that scoreboard. That one, I don't even know how long that one's been up there, probably about the same time that the track was installed or improved. So this one, while it's about the same size, it has a few more functions. Of course, it's wireless. Wireless, you know, everything's wireless or Bluetooth now. So, you know, that will be a big improvement up there. Then it's also LED. You know, there's no replays on it like there is at the central field, but it'll be an improvement up there. You know, all of these things that I've shown you, save for the art room at Simmons Middle School, will be finished prior to the start of school. Next slide I've got is Simmons Elementary's, and this doesn't look like much. This is Simmons Elementary's staff lounge or staff workroom. School got out Tuesday at 11:30. This is what that place looked like at about 3:30. The team went in, they gutted everything. You know, I think the staff was having cake and snacks in the morning there, and then all of a sudden it's gone. But again, this used to be the old stage at Simmons Elementary. It's kind of a mess up there. You know, the district has always been very good at making do with what we have. But this will be a nice change. It'll take the ceiling up from about here up to about 12 feet tall. Unfortunately, when we started digging into this, the HVAC system was about on its last legs, and this HVAC system also covers the office as well. So that'll all be cleaned up. You know, new cabinetry, et cetera, et cetera. I told Dr. Guffin today that this is probably going to be one of the biggest transformations this summer, I think. Everybody will walk in and say, wow. You know, projects that are in the planning phases. Because of the creative ways we have to put together budgets, you know, back to back, because the costs of these or just the time frames, you know, some of these are just the projects will start now, the planning, half the money is there, but then it will just kind of roll over. Mayorby's library renovation, that one we had worked on. It kind of did a crash and burn at the last minute, but that's okay. It'll rise from the flames, right? Office renovation, that's one. We've been kind of marching through, doing the office renovations, updates. Centrals is on there as well. We've got some just really fun stuff at Simmons Elementary, plumbing waste lines. You know, when the building is from the 50s, 60s, things are gonna wear out. DSC HVAC replacement. Jared and I went and talked with Element Engineering today. Jared was very excited, I could tell. This is going to be a big project, but I'm pretty sure that, well, I'm sure he's got a handle on it. He's going to be keeping an eye on it, and Luke Mulsum is very good. He'll work out all the details. Next summer too, we have to update 3 of the fire panels in our buildings, just again because of the outdated technology. Central, some mixing valves in the plumbing. Okay, so here we come. This is the coolest thing. Last fall, we purchased an autonomous robotic mower. This one's a little bigger than the Husqvarnas that you see at some of the yards or at Home Depot. It's a 40 horsepower motor. It mows a 6-foot path. It is driven by GPS and LiDAR technology. It is not meant to replace someone. It is meant to increase their productivity. Because as this thing is doing its thing, and I'll press the button here, maybe. Josh, will I press the button?
Oh, you had a video?
Yeah. Oh, Josh. Okay. Okay, you won't see the video. You would have been impressed. Okay. What is so neat with this thing is you don't have to train it each time. You bring it to a place, you mow two loops around, you push the button, and you can go weed eat. You can go, you know, with a bigger mower. You can go edge, et cetera, et cetera. it's not meant that we just drop it and walk away, because there has to be a safety precaution. Had you seen the video, to make sure that this thing was safe, I decided I was just gonna stand in front of it. When I went home that night, my wife said, "What'd you do at work today?" So I told her, said, "Ben Schnell, you're an idiot." I said, "Well, you know, I'm not gonna argue that fact, but, you know, the thing comes up to you within probably 3 feet, it stops, it turns, it goes around, and it continues on its way. What's so funny is Gene Frederickson, the grounds foreman, I told him what I did, he says, "Yeah, I did the same thing." So I said, "Okay, bigger question, what did it do when we left?" He said, "As soon as it finished the field, it went back," he said, "mowed where we were standing." So, you know, it remembers hundreds of these. You take it to, I know Central, he took it out, he mowed the 3 practice football fields there, which practice football fields about 1.5 acres-ish. At its slowest speed, which is about 4 miles an hour, it did it in 40 minutes. It can go up to 8 miles an hour. So 20 minutes a practice field, you can kind of see the value there, definitely. We have multiple people that are getting trained on it. What's so funny is every day you hear a story of, I was up to Holgate and I stopped traffic because, you know, 5 or 6 cars will stop, they'll jump out, they'll videotape it. It's pretty impressive. People that I've talked with, you know, it's been met with good results. So that is, well, except for, I have one last slide, I guess. Projects that I'm going to be working on this summer. Because I think I'm at day 16, I have 16 more days left. These are pictures of where my wife and I have already gone. You know, they're Lake Superior, North Shore of Lake Superior, at Jay Cook State Park, beautiful places. And then also right there in the middle, that's me with 3 of our 11 grandchildren. So I think that's going to be a lot of my summer projects. My wife tells me I've got a few others, but probably won't all involve camping. But, you know, I guess I would like to say thank you to not only Dr. Guffin, but the school board. Not only the present superintendent and present school board, but the past ones that I've worked with. Thank you for, you know, allowing our department to have the items that we need to do the jobs that we have to. You know, to my staff, they're wonderful, dedicated, hardworking, you know, and I guess really to the school district staff in general, you know, the memories, the friendships that I've developed over 5 decades-ish, you know, that you just, I've been very, very fortunate, so thank you. Any questions on the projects? Good camping spots, I can tell you.
Thinking ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Questions for Mr. Schnell?
Others? Okay.
Well, just from the school board perspective, 45 years, I believe, is...
I think it was 46 full-time, and then before that, I think I worked 3 years part-time.
Wow.
You know, and it's funny because my grandkids will be coming. They came over that one time and they were complaining to my wife, "Oh, I got to go to school tomorrow." You know, and I was just minding my own business, and she says, "You know, your grandfather," and it sounded like the old man thing, but says he's been going to school since kindergarten. You know, he started at 5 and he's just about 65. So, you know, 60 years with the school district in all.
On behalf of the school board, we want to say thank you. You don't hear that in business, schools, things like that, of 50-plus years of service, and you've seen everything probably there is to see in these districts. And the comments that we receive, or at least I receive, is we have older schools. They don't feel like older schools because they're so well kept up. We don't worry about, well, you worry about the snow removal, you worry about that stuff, but when we drop off our kids, we know everything's going to be taken care of. And so enjoy those snowy days now where you don't have to be up at 3 in the morning and removing snow. And I know that earlier this year we had a pipe break in one of the schools, and that was a Sunday, I believe, and you were there cleaning it up, and there was class there the next day. And so there's hundreds of those stories, I'm sure, and we want to say thank you for that. Thank you to you, thank you to your team, but it's through the leadership that you've created there, and I know we'll have a smooth transition moving forward, and we'll give you a call next time it snows.
Sounds good. I might be looking for something.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben. Okay, the next item on the agenda this evening is the Special Education Comprehensive Plan. Mrs. Olson has that for us this evening.
The Special Ed Comprehensive Plan is basically taking all of the South Dakota special ed laws and turning it into what we do in Aberdeen in our school district. There aren't any changes to it that I made this year. We follow the same overall plan. We make small changes to our different parts of our schools and departments, but otherwise it's pretty much the same.
Questions related to the Special Education Comprehensive Plan?
I have a question, not regarding the plan, but regarding the plan. Are private schools not required to have this, I'm assuming, because they don't have special ed kids pretty much in those schools, and until they receive, if they start receiving vouchers, federal aid, state aid, will they then be required to have the same requirements as we have? Because it's a lot of work.
It is. I guess I would hope so, but I don't know the answer to that.
So we currently provide the special ed services in this, and this is a part of that, is we do this part of we do the grant application, we do this paperwork kind of piece of it. That's part of us getting
The parts that we do for the private schools, anything that has to do with special ed, we follow the comprehensive plan and the laws that we would for public school.
But I always would argue that it takes a lot more resources to take care of special ed children than to have children who pick and choose to go to a school of their own choosing. And like I said, I think it's just a tremendous amount of work. And I hope legislators remember that when they go to peer every year.
Did you see a lot of changes this year from, because it seems like there's been a lot of.
Not really to the overall processes. I think there's a lot of smaller changes to like how we do things and maybe some specific paperwork and things like that. But how we find kids, how we do all of the evaluations and things like that are pretty much the same.
Okay.
Have you noticed any decline in services from the Department of Education, considering it's kind of been partially dismantled?
No, not really. I mean, the things that we do, we've always done.
Yeah.
I suspect trying to find qualified individuals is getting tougher and tougher and tougher.
Very tough. We still have at least 3 positions for teachers and 1 position for a counselor for special ed next year.
Wow.
We did just open all of our non-certified positions today, so if anyone's looking, we have started looking for next fall already. Today the position's open, so.
We have a lot of those too.
Yes, we do.
I saw the little commercial with the kids asking for EA, help. So, and that's in special ed too, isn't it?
Yes.
We have a lot in special ed.
Okay.
I move approval of the special ed plan, and thank you for doing that.
Motion on the floor by Olson, second by Sharp. Is there any further discussion related to the Special Education Comprehensive Plan? Seeing none, all those in favor of the first reading signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Okay, the next several items on the agenda are several policy revisions that we will be entertaining this evening. These are a direct result of legislation that passed this last year. So these are all items that would take effect as of July 1st. So we typically take advantage of our 2 June board meetings. So we have things prepared for the July 1st deadline. So the first one is policy BBB. This is school board elections, and this was House Bill 1130. The change here recognizes that school elections need to be set in December. We have to let the public know in December when our election will be held. And then our date options are either June or November. In the past, April was an option. We never, ever used April as an option. We always have used June. But nonetheless, that is no longer an option. It has to either be June or November, and we must identify that by December.
What brought this about?
Wanting more voter turnout and having the elections on the primary or on the general election date. April was kind of a...
Were there that many schools that were using that date? I can't even think of any.
Falls was one. I mean,
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
But otherwise, most everybody was June, I think.
June, yeah.
I'd move first reading approval of BBB.
Motion on the floor by Sharp,
I'll second that.
second by Dr. Bortman. Any further discussion related to policy BBB? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is the first reading of policy BEBB, and this is our school board meeting and then the order of business. This is reflection of Senate Bill 47. They're updating the purpose for which executive sessions may be called. We never had an explanation of that in our policy. I thought it was good just to put it in there anyway. We always reference the codified law, obviously, when we go into executive session, but this really spells it out in policy, which I think is a good idea. And then they're just simply saying that if we do take official action, that we would do that out of executive session, which is always the practice we've followed. We're just clarifying that and putting it in the policy.
I move that we, first reading be on BEDD.
I have a motion on the floor by Murphy. Second by Backus. Any further discussion related to policy BEDD? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is first reading of BEDG, the minutes of school board proceedings. This is a reflection of the House Bill 1130. This updates election-related information required to school board meeting minutes. So, for example, on tonight's consent agenda, you notice we had a note about we did not need to have a school board election, and our individual was unopposed, so we simply needed to approve that tonight. In the event that there would have been an election, we would have been part of the canvass last Friday with Brown County, and we would have to post what the exact results were. So this is just putting that into policy as reflected in House Bill 1130.
I'd move first reading of BEDG.
Motion on the floor by Olson, second by Sharp. Any further discussion related to policy BEDG? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Okay, the next one is policy DIB, types of funds. This is a new policy for us. I thought it was just really good to put into policy, because I know sometimes there are questions about how our school district's funded, but really what House Bill 1130 did this year, which I think was a very good change, is it does allow us to pay our property insurance premiums out of capital outlay. That seems to make sense, that if you have a capital asset, that what you're using to protect that, you could use from the same funding source. In the past, all of our insurance had to go through a general fund, so this would be a change we'd be able to make as a reflection of House Bill 1130.
I'd move first reading of BID.
Motion on the floor by Sharp.
Second.
Second by Backus. Any further discussion related to policy DIB? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Okay, the next one, policy FD, also is part of House Bill 1130. This it really spells out how capital outlay funds may be used for payment, and again, also, once again, reiterates the property insurance policy as well.
How much is that per year, do you know?
I do not.
About 280, isn't it?
Yeah, it's-
280,000.
About 280,000
So
approximately.
we save that in the general fund.
Next
right?
year.
Okay, yeah, we'll go for next year.
That makes sense.
Yes, it was a great bill.
I move that we, FD.
Motion on the floor by Dr. Bortno.
Second.
Second by Olson. Any further discussion related to policy FD? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Okay, the next one, policy IGA, Basic Instructional Program. This is also a new policy for us. We've always practiced this. These are items that are all codified in law regarding instructional topics or items that we must instruct children in, and it's different levels and different reasons for doing that. So For example, CPR was one, character development is one. That's part of our state accreditation, so we've always followed that, but we just thought we would put it in policy. What was new this year, House Bill 1313 passed, and that requires us to provide instruction in prenatal human growth and development. So that's what's new from this legislative session, but it captures all of the items that we're required to teach per state statute or administrative rule.
I'd move first reading.
Second.
Moved on the floor by Olson, second by Sharp. Any further discussion related to policy IGA? None, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
The next one, policy IGBI, assignment to alternate setting. This is House Bill 1017. This provides school districts with the authority to assign a student to an alternative setting if they are displaying aggressive behavior. There's some other components that go into that, but nonetheless, it does give districts the authority to make that assignment.
I'd move first reading of IGBI.
I'll second it.
Moved by Olson, second by Murphy. Any further discussion related to this? Mr. Sharp?
Quick question, is that not the case now? Does it have to be more specific in the IEP? It's not as specific with this now? Or am I not understanding?
In the past, if it's been a disciplinary issue, we've always been able to suspend a child, or this would allow us to educate them in a little different manner if it's inappropriate. To be honest, we've been doing that as well. I have not experienced this, but I suppose a parent could say no, and this now gives us the authority to say yes. I've not experienced that, but yeah.
Any further questions or comments? None, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Okay, the next one is our medication policy, and this is really a reflection of two different bills. It would be House Bill 1143 and Senate Bill 8. It does two very different things. First of all, under certain circumstances, it does allow students to self-administer diabetes medication. We have students who are diabetics have a very specific diabetic plan that we follow. So this would be very specific to each child's needs, but nonetheless, if you're a child that has a diabetic diagnosis, you may be able to self-administer your diabetes medication. That was not allowed in the past. The other thing, again, very different, is we always have the EpiPen, the epinephrine pen, but now the law allows us to use a nasal spray, which is much less invasive and maybe easier for some folks who are not medically trained to administer. So two completely different things, two completely different bills, but you'll see those two changes reflected in our medication policies.
I just saw it today, which I thought was incredibly interesting. They now have been experimenting with an insulin inhalation.
Yeah.
That there's no injections anymore. You just,
I saw that too.
which I think is going to make this even easier.
Actually, I thought about it, I thought, that's going to be on the agenda tonight.
I didn't know that they existed, but it sounds great. I'd move JLCD, JLCD-R, JLCD-E. First reading.
On the floor by Olson. Second by Sharp.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
If the student has an insulin pump, is that covered?
I'll take that.
Say it again.
Insulin pump?
In the bill? Or in the-
If a student has an insulin pump, how is that covered? It doesn't really talk about.
The insulin pumps are partially run like independently. They have a little computer that constantly gives insulin, and then you also are able to program individualized shots for that. And so every kid's different in their needs. Like having the insulin pumps allows them to be able to give their own.
So they can self-administer on it with an insulin pump?
Yes.
Is that how you view that?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, that's why we have the diabetes care plan, because to Nicole's point, every single child is so very different what they're capable of doing with that. So that's why we have a very specific care plan with this particular.
Our nurses do a really good job of following our little ones. That they have the insulin pumps, they can give their own shots, they just typically don't, but the nurses follow a lot of their CGMs so they can follow those plans. The older kids, middle school and up, they typically do their own injections with the insulin pump, so that would be what this is for.
I think technology even allows smartphones to be able to monitor and then give the added, it's incredible what they can do. It's-
Any further discussion related to JLCD, CD-R, CD-E? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Okay, and the last one is policy JLF and JLF-R. This is coming from House Bill 1187. Very minor change here, but they were very adamant that they wanted coaches also to be listed as mandatory reporters. So we simply added the word coaches to the policy and the regulations.
I guess I always thought they were.
Their employees.
Yeah, if the only, because I was there when this came up as well and asked the same question, because our policy very specifically says other employees or all employees, something to that effect. In certain circumstances, there might be a volunteer coach, which would not make you an employee.
I see.
So this is, if you're coaching, you want to be very clear that you had an obligation.
And it doesn't distinguish athletic coaches from like debate coaches or
No.
other
They
coaches.
wanted the word coach.
Okay. That makes sense.
There was a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Sharpen my computer. Any further discussion? I just want to commend administration for staying on top of the bills that have been coming through, and that, to Mr. Olson's point, staying very transparent with what, and the regulations that we need to follow as a public school district, and this only makes us better, but to be compliant by July 1 is a mighty task, so thank you so much for staying on top of that. With that, all those in favor of JLF and JLF-R signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Seeing no other further business in front of this board, I'd ask for a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
Second by Dr. Bortnam. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.